side. So, again, best of the three here, of course, in game number one. We have Tempest and Tremble being blind banned by our Legion side, and then Warbeast and Tundra blind banned by the Hellborn team. So, interesting couple of blind bans here.
Yeah, the Tremble blind ban, that tells me actually that Saishi is a team that has done a little bit of research as far as, seeing what the other team has done. And we both know, and actually Keizu, when we interviewed him, I believe, said he really likes to pick Tremble. And he likes that hero, so kind of an interesting ban. I don't know if it's really ban-worthy, but like I said, I said before, the comfort heroes are not to be scoffed at. I mean, just because it's not necessarily first pick or ban material doesn't mean you can't ban it. So yeah, the Tempest and Tremble, Warbeast and Tundra. Saishi actually really likes to play Warbeast, so again, that's another comfort hero. Yeah. And it's Ghost Who Knows It. Now the locks come out, Glacius, Wild Soul Lona, very, very standard so far.
Yeah, nothing crazy with the locking phase, but yeah, some very good points to bring up there. As far as the blind bans are concerned, yeah, definitely that Tremble being played by Keizu, I believe it was, for its Gosu. An awesome Tremble player, and that was a lot of fun to watch in their previous matchup. That, of course, they played against. Who did they play against? That was against Better Looking Than You. That's right, it fit. So, the previous series there. So, we'll see how the locking phase continues now for that Glacius and the Wild Soul, and a Luna being locked, of course, by its Gosu. So, obviously, plenty of choices here from Saishi. Now, while we're kind of in a little bit of a slowdown here, as Valkyrie actually the next lock, and again still waiting on one more from our Legion team, but I saw you playing a little bit of Berserker again yesterday, Tralfamador. And I've been stressing. I really think he has a place in the competitive scene. It would be awesome to start seeing him. And any more take on the hero Berserker?
I think he's just amazing. I really do. He does a lot of damage. His ultimate works on towers. His ultimate has an 80% debuff on stun duration. It's ridiculous. Now, you do take more damage, but all of his spells also are physical. So things like Repel or Protective Charm from Jeraziah, or, a lot of people, a lot of lineups are around lots of burst, and so because of that, lots of people get vestments and stack up on magic armor, but he's all physical and just deals so much damage. And he actually doesn't need that much farm to be very, very strong. Now, he does have a lack in farming potential, but like I said, he doesn't need that much farm. So he's very, very strong. I wish more teams would pick him up. Hopefully, there'll be a team that just starts picking him up over and over and starts dominating, because that'll start the trend. Because I'd love to see some more Berserker play.
Yeah, again, it usually seems like that's how it happens. Just one team is just finally, we're going to go ahead and try this hero, see what he can do. All of a sudden, just dominates. It's like, well, other teams are like, okay, maybe he is a pretty good hero. So obviously, with Dracon is the most recent one, I think it's safe to say. He's kind of been that flavor of the month almost kind of hero. So, although we really haven't seen Draconis as much as I thought we were, honestly. I mean, he just, obviously with Cookies playing for Clan Milk, and then after that, I honestly forget who played him after that, but again, he just had such dominating games there for 2 or 3 days. But, he actually hasn't been played really these last couple of days, even this last week. So, we're going to be interesting to maybe see him here in this series, or maybe not. But the locking phase finishing, so of course it followed up with Valkyrie and Wretched Hag, and then it finished with Ophelia actually being locked from its Ghost. So the banning phase going through Magmus, Moraxis, Polywalk Priest, Pebbles, Torturer, and one more ban to go from its Ghost side. Saishi actually using a lot of extra time here so far. I don't know if that's because they're actually thinking about it, or maybe just because a little bit AFK, but a lot of extra time being used here by Saishi.
Yeah. One thing to think, actually, 2 people on Let's Go are right-clicking the Mage Bane. Yeah. Maybe they are thinking about picking Mage Bane because they do ban Fade right there. Yeah. So that could also be an indicator to Angry Devo they're drafting over there on Saishi is, wow, Fade is gone. There is Mage Bane and Silhouette, but honestly, I think, well, actually, there's TDL as well. So there's 3 of, and Draconis. So there's a lot of good stuff available. So he does pick Bubbles, and I actually like that because there are so many things available. You're not forced to pick a hard carry right now, so why not use your pick on something else that's a little bit more versatile. Bubbles is pretty much one of the best suicide laners in the game. Adds so much to his team without any farm at all. So Bubbles is a fine pick. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Jeraziah is unbanned, and this definitely could put its Ghost in an interesting spot, because you look at the log pool, there's no Electrician, no Parasite, of course, which again, even if there was, as we've said in the past, doesn't mean you can't pick up Jeraziah, absolutely, but it definitely helps out there. Now, there are some candidates for Nullfire Blade, specifically Valkyrie, but still, that definitely shouldn't sway you away from picking up a powerful hero like Jeremiah. So we'll see if either team looks to take advantage of that. You see Insani over there right-clicking the Nymphora, using a bit of their extra time now to kind of decide who they're going to go with picks. But yeah, I would find it hard to believe that. I mean, I guess not too hard because, again, as you mentioned, really those 4 carry heroes that are on that top tier, Draconis, Mage Bane, Silhouette, and Dark Lady, are all available. So surely they locked Fade with or banned Fade, with the last ban. So it maybe leads you to believe that they wanted to pick up the Mage Bane, but we'll see what they ultimately go with. Of course, they could try to take a risk and maybe not pick it up here and see if they can get with their final pick, but maybe that's what they're going to go for because they go with Nymphora and Witch Slayer, actually. Very powerful duo there, definitely.
Yeah, and wow, a Balfagor picked up very, very early on. They must have a strategy in mind. But yeah, to go back to It's Ghosted, the Nymphora Witch Slayer pickup, I mean, there's no question. I'm a fan of Nymphora. I think that hero should be first pick pretty much every game. So I'm never going to complain about a Nymphora pick. Witch Slayer also, again, Polywall Priest is banned, so if they do decide to go that Witch Slayer mid, very, very, very strong. They could also do a support, but they already have a support in Nymph, and I think It's Ghosted knows well that Witch Slayer's not the strongest support. He does. Well, he can work, but yeah.
There's also a Glacius and a Luna in the pool as well.
That's right.
Ophelia, of course. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that Witch Slayer very likely can play a solo role here for its Gosu. But yeah, the Balfagor pick over there.
Yeah, Balfagor pickup. Kind of interested to see how they do this. Maybe they in a ramp. Okay, now I'm just speechless. I don't know. I do not know. Those heroes really don't synergize, at least from my knowledge. I mean, I've never seen them play together. The pole, then the spit spell from Balfagor. I regurgitate. Does that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I love Rampage. Don't get me wrong, but don't know if it works together. They're kind of forced to pick a support out of that pool right away. Maybe something like a Glacius. I think Glacius would be good here. I probably Glacius would be the best because Ophelia is on the board. So hopefully they pick up that Glacius to kind of salvage lack of support that they have.
Yeah, and if they can get either Wild Soul or Ophelia with their final pick too, I mean, I could see that it has that push mentality. But yeah, you're right. I mean, well, then why pick up the Rampage? It throws it off. I mean, that's not to say Rampage is a bad hero. As we even saw him a couple days ago. I remember that where you were even mentioning that was actually a pretty strong pick. But how about that right there? So sure enough, Draconis is actually picked up by its Gosu. They banned the Fate with the final ban, so you figure maybe they're going to go with the Mage Bane, but with all those options being available, they decide to go with Draconis here as their final regular pick. So we're going to see some more Draconis play this time coming out of It's Gosu. But yeah, Saishi, it's a little bit fuzzy in terms of what exactly the type of strategy is that they're going to be going for. Really curious now.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. Draconis very, very strong, and they do go with Ophelia first. I don't know if I agree with that because Glacius is also on the board now. Just because they have Witch Slayer and Nymphora doesn't mean they can't pick up in their support. And obviously, Witch Slayer's most likely going to go mid, I would assume. But that means they could easily do a tri-lane something with Draconis and maybe like a Suicide Valk or even a Suicide Wild Soul. I know they like to play Wild Souls. So they could go tri-lane bottom. Actually, we've seen this exact same tri-lane. We've seen Glacius, Nymphora, Draconis tri-lane bottom before by it was Fit. And then they would Wild Soul top. This is almost exactly like that one lineup if you think a few days ago.
Yeah.
But yep, that's going to be like a Wild Soul solo top, Witch Slayer mid, and a tri-lane Draconis bottom.
Yeah, you're right. That is that tri-lane that we saw. So. And then sure enough, what was it? Luna actually the final pick there. Again, not too surprising. They definitely could have used that hard support with their final pick. So. Yeah, I mean, so with that Wild Soul pick, again, or excuse me, with that Ophelia pick over here for Saishi, especially synergized with the Balfagor, it does lead you to believe, perhaps, that more of a grouping up earlier on and make some aggressive tower pushes is a very likely strategy here. But again, it's that Rampage pick is still what really throws things off here as far as the overall strategy from our Legion team goes. So really curious, though, to see how they use Rampage. How do you think it's going to go as far as the laning? Are we going to see a Luna Rampage or a Luna Balfagor?
I don't know. I think they're going to solo Balfagor. I think they're going to go Luna Rampage bottom, Balfagor mid, and then Suicide Bubbles top. I don't know if that's going to be the strongest. Bubbles actually is going to struggle, I think, a little bit against Wild Soul, being Wild Soul in his short lane. But he has the potential to beat him. It's just going to be kind of hard if he's, not the most experienced mid player. But we'll see what he can do. Yep. But yeah, I think it's going to. Actually, Balfagor's walking bottom, so I'm wrong already. Maybe a Balfagor, a Luna, solo Rampage, solo Bubbles. So.
Balfagor, this is one of the newer skins of Balfagor. It's actually a really cool skin because even his minions are kind of like him as well, which is just a different style of it. So I kind of like that skin. Speaking of new skin, Rampage actually.
I love that Rampage.
The
skin.
Rhino, yeah,
it looks so cool.
It's actually pretty badass. So.
How do you do the camera thing again?
The key right below the or the backspace key, the line. So yeah, you can move around. You hold it down, you move it around. You press backspace to go back to normal. So helpful tip out there for all your spectators and taking advantage of the camera views and everything. So, like I said, it's actually a very powerful tool that HoN has when it comes to spectating, when it comes to actually making fan-made videos and everything, and highlight videos. So, it is a little bit surprising that there isn't more out there, and I would hope that the community would maybe take advantage of such a powerful tool that HoN provides as far as making those. But anyways, as far as this game goes, Boo Boo, you see him coming down here to the bottom lane looking to scout things out a little bit, maybe even do some polling, depending on the situation. Aluna looks like she is going to be going bottom. So that should be an Aluna Balfour bottom, and I'm guessing Rampage middle, yeah, and then Bubbles Suicide top. So
it's going to be a Draconis top. This is a tri-lane top, yeah, with a Suicide Wild Soul. I don't know if they really needed to do that. I think they should have manned up in tri-lane bottom. They do have the Glacius to counter against that Ophelia if she does decide to gank. So I think here's the problem now with this tri-lane for Hellborn is if they're not able to roam around with Glacius and Nymphora, or if they're not able to get kills on this Bubbles, then they're going to be very, very gimped on experience. Now the good part is that Bubbles did not get a chance to ward this up here, and he's actually going to run into Glacius. So if Glacius, being played by Sender, can prevent this ward, that's going to be really, really huge from him.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Sender will do this. He's going to stack and pull this Wolf Commander stack here. The next time, which about a minute 15, and he's going to get complete lane control, and he's going to give himself lots of farming experience. So that lack of ward there coming out from Bubbles is going to be huge.
Yeah. Rampage is going to be completely blind as far as the rune spot goes. That 2-minute rune, I mean, it might be blind for him because of the situation. So, yeah, that's going to be really unfortunate here for Rampage, of course, as far as maybe wanting to try to get some rune control over the Switch there, at least right off the bat. But, again, going to be blind with this, so we'll have to just guess if he even tries to go for it. But but seeing Bubbles up here now, you mentioned sending the tri-lane top, maybe not as expected. I'd hope that they manned up. You maybe could some of the reasoning be, and again, with the hero like Draconis, what we talk about all the time is you stack that jungle up, and he just tears right through it. You think being next to his jungle just makes it more comfortable for him?
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. I didn't even think about that. But at the same time, I talked about this yesterday. He should be farming the lane anyways until he's level 8 or so, I would assume. Yes, he can go farm the jungle when he wants to. Some action coming up bottom, just a little bit of harass, as Nymphora actually did move to the mid lane to help out. I don't know if that's really necessary, to be honest, because that's going to gimp Witchlayer's experience a little bit. Yeah. And he definitely needs experience. Look at all the damage coming out from, oh my god. One right click takes out basically a fourth of his health from Rampage. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to sit here and apply pressure to this Rampage, but I don't think Witchlayer is going to benefit from that, really. So
you see right there, he missed the Graveyard Sign now. Wow, I'm blanking on the name. Nymphora Zeal coming out right there, but Rampage is more than 5. But you said, man, Rampage, I mean, the damage he can put out with that third ability of his, with the Horn Strike, I believe it's called. Yeah, Horn Strike right there, and that's just level 1. I mean, he does put this third level into a charge, so he has 1/1/1 right now. Of course, giving him some mobility as well, but I'm curious if he starts to max out that Horn Strike and get even more damage as a result of that. You see, again, taking a Graveyard Center right here, so will be fine, just going to have to do some regen. But Witchslayer is making sure to keep up the harassment as much as possible. Being played by Keizu here. Now, Nymphora roaming to the top lane, of course, picking up the Invisible Ring. You see Bubbles putting down the Ward of Sight there at the camp, and now he's actually trying to get away, but going to run right into Nymphora, and he has no clue. Out comes a Zeal Stun, getting it on both sides. We see Glacius coming in. The freeze not in time, though, able to get the Shell Surf off, and Raised will be fine there on Bubbles. So, yeah, really unfortunate timing from Glacius coming. If he hit that Ice Prison, maybe could have been a kill, but able to port away, so again, it's fine.
And look at Sender's already got a counter. The second it was placed, he knew it, and it's countered within 10 seconds of him placing it. So, yeah, that's going to be rough there for Bubbles. They're going to be able to really abuse these pulls up here top if they start pulling it here. Draconis is going to get free farm in the meantime. He's actually being played by Black, so Black is playing this, so I'm happy to see that. And then Balfagor at the bottom is trying to apply a little bit of pressure to this bottom lane, but Boo Boo is just going to, or Wild Soul is going to have a fine time down here, I think. Aluna's doing some, where is Aluna actually? She's kind of, maybe she went from bottom to mid now, so now she's going to assist mid a little bit.
Yeah, Ophelia's just been also sitting in the jungle. Not too much aggression coming out of her. We do see at the bottom side, Balfagor actually in a lot of trouble right here. The root did come out. He's in a... another root going to happen. And Boo Boo will help take him out. Umzai picking up the Bloodlust kill. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Angry Diva right there. A double root coming out within the matter of 4 or 5 seconds, it seemed like. Hey, was it 3 times even? Yeah, I only caught 2, but wow. So Boo Boo, RNG very heavy in the favor of Wild Soul there. That's, again, just really unfortunate for Balfagor.
Yeah, I saw the 2 roots for sure, but if that was 3, oh man, that's got to sting. That's really, really unfortunate. But I actually don't even think that Aluna should really be mid. I think they should just keep trying to put some pressure on this Wild Soul. Now, I didn't really look at what happened in the bottom, but I'm assuming that Wild Soul got some lane control and positioning with that Boo Boo. That's what a lot of players do. And it's really hard to keep, the harass in good position. Actually, mid lane here, Rampage taking a little bit of harass, but I think he'll be fine, as he's quite tanky in his whole nature. So, but yeah, I think that kill on the Balfagor was huge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely going to set him back quite a bit. And you look Wild Soul, he's already pressuring the tower himself. He's a level 5 Wild Soul against a level 3 Balfagor here. So it's almost, really, Wild Soul is all of a sudden winning this lane here against Balfagor. And again, that really just shouldn't be happening. And what at least was a 1 versus 2, but like you talked about, Luna has roamed to the middle lane. And, what ultimately actually done here, it doesn't seem like a whole lot at the same time. So, yeah, you just seem like her time would be just much better spent at this bottom lane. And then that goes back to what I was talking about Ophelia as well. We have yet to see Saishi actually playing Ophelia here. Go for any ganks. I mean, no aggression coming out from Ophelia whatsoever. Are you fine with him sitting in the jungle farming as much as he is? Or
well, the way that the position of the lane was on the bottom, it'd be very, very hard to gank the Wild Soul properly. Actually, he could right now because Wild Soul's playing very aggressive, and I don't know if they know this, but they do not have any wards bottom here to prevent any ganks. And actually, he is coming with a double Catman. Wild Soul's quite fast, though. He does have boots. Yeah. So they're maybe going to try to get Boo Boo, but I don't think that's going to happen. He's quite tanky. But yeah, maybe they're going to look to push here. They don't have a catapult wave. So there's the next one. The next one is a catapult wave, and they might look to push here with the Balfagor minions. And he's level 5 as well as Ophelia, so she does have those 2 creeps. So I think this is going to be a dead tower.
Yeah, that's a lot of push power, and as you're saying, maybe it's Ghost who won't even bother trying to defend it because it's like, what are you going to do against this? Is it worth using the resources to try to defend this? Probably not. Boo Boo is going to try to do a little bit of harassment, but the tower already to half-life, and you just see that push potential between Balfagor and Ophelia. Now, Ophelia's harassing quite a bit with the Catman Champion instead of keeping them on the tower. I'm a little bit curious about that, if that actually is the smartest choice, and it's going to be denied as a result. Yeah, I don't know about that. What Ophelia was doing, microing the Catman Champions to auto-attack Wild Soul rather than the tower right there, which it just really didn't seem to accomplish anything. So they're going to try to keep this push going, though, a little bit here. But Balfagor and Ophelia need to be careful not to overstep their boundaries by any means, because the secondary tower, you can bet it's Gosu is going to look to defend it, although Aluna is here, so right now we have kind of a 3 versus 3. Glacius obviously porting in, but it seems like the Legion team going to be happy with at least pushing that first tower. But yeah, unfortunate to deny, in favor if it's Gosu, though, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was just trying to harass him enough to get him scared to go away from the tower and back off from that. But, yeah, unfortunately, the deny did come out from Zai, so good job from him. That's definitely huge in a game like this early on when a lot of your focus is early pushes. So now look at the CS farm. Draconis pretty much free farming. I mean, Bubbles is not really doing anything as far as canceling his free farm. Now, he is level 4, and Bubbles has a tiny little bit of CS. He's got 3. That's not bad. I mean, he's going to hit level 6 here pretty soon, and he's going to start participating in ganks. Oh, man, Hydra there in the mid gets taken up by Kaiser using that Silver Bullet, as well as assistance from Sender and Insania. So good kill right there. That's what they really needed to. But, it's Ghost is looking in a good position. They have a hard carry. They have a strong pushing potential themselves in the Wild Soul. So I think they're in a great spot right now.
Yeah, as you mentioned, AAA down here, or up here at the top lane, excuse me, again. When he was very active in the competitive scene, he was very, very hard carry player. He's definitely known as one of the better risers in the game. So this is definitely what he's very comfortable with when it comes to just farming on a hero for the good early part of the game, then eventually taking over with. And of course, as we've seen many times, Draconis is that type of hero. Now, granted, Draconis is, of course, a very, very new hero. So I do wonder with a player like AAA, who has been out of the scene for a little bit, if he has a whole lot of experience actually playing it. Not to say that it's, again, with a player of his caliber would have the most difficult time, but still, a little bit curious to see, ultimately how much GPM he gets. But you see right here, he's taking out what I believe was a doubles, or no, even a triple stack there. Yeah. Right next to him with, of course, the Blazing Fly and the Dragon Flame, which is now level 4 in both. So as you put it, too, he's level 8 here. So going in the jungle at that mark, and sure enough, boosting up his GPM now to 355 gold per minute, which of course is tops in the game. As actually Witchslayer, though, also having a very good time at 320 gold per minute himself. He's got those steam boots early on. Bubbles on the top lane, avoids the Dragon Flame with the port out just in time, but still, you can see the damage coming out right there. Ophelia did use her heal as well. I don't know if that was to save Bubbles or maybe just to happen to heal at the same time, but did happen to use it right there, so that will be on cooldown now.
Yeah, I just want to comment on one little small thing that's kind of a... it could have been a big deal if they did get that kill on Bubbles. It's very hard to get a kill on Bubbles like that. But is Black actually... He kind of played as if he was kind of scared almost from Bubbles. And that little tiny mind game gave Bubbles the idea that he's going to be safe and okay. But Glacius was actually there, in fact, and ready to gank. So little tiny plays and little bits of movement like that really actually play a big deal in some of these early game ganks.
Yeah, again, a lot of information is being read here by these players, of course, and I'm sure you can vouch for that as you see in these casts all the time. You know, there's those little things that you pick up on, and they're doing the same, so it's playing those mind games, as you put it, trying to trick them and fool them in those cases, so Black doing a good job of trying to set that up, but again, Bubble's just a little bit too quick and able to be fine. Now, Balfagor has adjusted here to the middle lane, so he's been here now for a couple minutes. Of course, that means Rampage at the bottom lane, trying to recover on a bit of farm himself, as of course didn't have the greatest start, but middle lane, a lot of trouble actually. Waltzel coming in, Balfagor dropping quickly, can't even get off his hell on Newworth, won't even matter probably in the end. He did have 100 charges, but good game coming in for Waltzel. You see Bubbles porting in his level 6, but just not nearly enough follow-up damages here. So Balfagor playing a little bit cocky there, despite having the helmet of the Black Legion, not tanky enough. And now they'll be counter-pushed here, as you mentioned, with that Wild Soul especially. This Hellborn team does have a bit of push themselves. It looks like Boo Boo is taking a lot of damage, though, so he'll have to fall back. But with this creep wave, despite no catapult being there, they should be able to get this. Oh, Boo Boo's so close again. He will actually get denied by Wild Soul, and he just spawns a new one, so... saying, screw it, I'm just going to deny it. Rampage does pour it in, though. We got Balfagor actually is back up as well. Can he get here? We do see Witch in a little bit of trouble. Now, they did get the tower kill, but Witch there, very likely going to fall in the background as he will, and tangle out into the Catman champion, actually. But Wild Soul, Draconis, and Glacius are all going to fall back and be fine, so good tower kill, though. Yeah, they did get the tower, and they exchanged Kasu's life for it. But his Silver Bullet, I don't even know if he had enough mana to cast it, so, and it, wouldn't have been the smartest thing actually to use that ultimate, knowing that he was going to die and wasn't going to kill anybody with it. Nymphora, though, in the meantime, is up here free farming the top lane and just hit level 6. So I think they're just fine with that trade. They got Nymph some levels. They got a tower out of it. They are actually going to lose mid, it looks like. Can they get a deny? No, they almost got another deny there with the bear. So good attempt there by Zion from Boo Boo, but is not able to get that. Doesn't afraid of anything.
Doesn't afraid of anything, yeah.
God, fun times.
No, yeah, I think it's Ghost who's doing good. And for it, they're going to be able to pour it around with Witchslayer. He doesn't have that blink yet. He's only got 500 gold, but he did just go for some more early game items with the steam boots as well as the vestments, and completed power supply. So, but once he does get that blink and he's going to hit that level 11, probably about the same time, maybe a little bit later than he gets his blink. But that synergizes so well, that Nymphora TP with Witchslayer. Yeah, very, very powerful.
Now, does this make sense to you? What Saishi's doing here? They're grouping up here at the top side. They're just gonna, obviously they were just in the middle lane grouped up. Now they go to the top lane. I mean, is this the point in the game where you just start grouping up and mass pushing towers?
I think so, and I think they kind of have to. They are somewhat of a team fight team, except for Rampage. Like, he's not really team fight. Well, he can be once he gets really, really tanky items early on. Like, if he has a very, very fast Helm of the Black Legion and a very, very fast, like, say, Bulwark, they can actually team fight quite well.
Oh, we do see in the middle lane, everyone porting in here from the Legion team and trying to catch him. Kelfield will catch Glacius. Is it going to be enough for that kill? No, it's not. He's able to port. Oh, he did end up dying in the well, actually, as Bubbles got credit. So it seemed like the last auto attack even ported with him and got the kill right there.
If you pour actually in Bubbles' ulti, it will actually do the damage and stun you.
Oh, okay.
And so he had enough damage on him that when it snapped, when the Kelfield snapped and went back to base, it did kill him. So
GG. So well, that's at least good. I mean, that would have really sucked to use all those resources, not even get a kill out of it. But granted, it was only on a Glacius, of course, but still, they got a kill. They did protect the tower, and they did push the top tower, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, they did get the top tower as Saishi. So confusing. They have a player named Saishi, so I keep calling him that. But Ophelia here was able to stay in and get the tower kill. It's actually pretty well played on their part, and that's now 3 of the towers down. Of course, they got 2 out of the 3 actually kill. One was denied, but not too bad right there. But yeah, again, this really does go back to this Rampage. And, I was just thinking about it, like something like a Demented Shaman here. I think would have made so much more sense than a I mean, he would have fit so well with this lineup. Obviously, synergized very well with Balfagor, great for pushing team, and it wouldn't have been a big deal to have another sport. It's just Rampage. You know, what is he bringing to the table with this lineup? It just doesn't seem like anything right now. Because if they're a mass pushing team, which they definitely are, and they're doing here. Like you said, I mean, he literally does nothing to assist in that.
It's just an awkward hero in this lineup. It doesn't really fit. I agree. I think Demented Shaman would have been a very, very strong pick, or any kind of more team fight oriented hero that doesn't need a lot of farm to perform well. Now, Rampage definitely needs his items early on, or else he's quite useless. He does pick up a Mighty Blade, maybe going to go for that early Shrunken Head. Definitely agree with that against this whole Hellborn team. They're pretty much all magic until Wild Soul gets late game items. What does Wild Soul have, by the way? He has Boots, Ring of the Teacher on himself, as well as Boots and actually Ghost Marchers on his bear. So going for that little bit more early game presence. I don't think that's bad at all. Probably going to see him pick up a Bulwark, in my opinion, quite early, and I think that's just fine. Played a Grease, just finished up on Ophelia as well as an Astrolabe, so his farm is actually doing quite well, second highest on his team. Next to Rampage, actually, who's got about 300 gold per minute. Actually quite surprised that he's farming that well.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, despite how well he is farming, that pick just doesn't really synergize here, and it's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, well, it's also at the same point of, is he going to outcarry Draconis? I mean, I think that's definitely the easy answer is obviously no. I mean, Draconis by far will outcarry us, but not only just being the hero that he is, but with this gold advantage. I mean, he is going to by far have a better farm. That's just how the hero works, of course. So, and it's showing right now. I mean, 441 gold per minute compared to the 310 now for Rampage. So Draconis has been doing the Ancients. He is working on a Null Stone, which I'm guessing, actually you see right there, Rampage kind of charging in with the Ghost Marchers, but Draconis falling back quickly. But you think Null Stone makes a lot of sense here against this team?
I think Null Stone is always a good pickup against a Rampage.
Yeah.
It just makes you a little bit more safe. Because let me check out the charge. Let me double check this. The charge cooldown is 30 seconds. Yeah, so he will never, ever be able to charge you unless someone else takes that Null Stone off before he starts the charge. And that's kind of... That's awkward because that means someone else is going to have to be way across the other side of the map, cancel the Null Stone, then run away. And, all right, Rampage, go. It just doesn't really work. So, yeah, Null Stone's always a great pickup against a Rampage. I'm pretty sure he'll follow that up with a Shrunken Head, and he'll be pretty much perfect, like good to go.
Yeah, that Shrunken Head is so powerful on a hero like Draconis. Just on most heroes, of course, but Draconis, that really seems to be the go-to build for him. So, yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see that. And also against the chain pull from, or the chains that bind, as it's called, the ultimate coming from Rampage. Can be useful against that if it happens to not be deactivated yet. So, yeah, for locking him down. But you see right here, Draconis just free pushing the bottom lane while this middle push is happening here by our Legion side. So, Saishi, I mean, it's good that they're grouping up, pushing together, but they got to make something happen sooner than later because, all this delaying is meaning the Hellborn team, they're just pushing both the top and the bottom lane. Now, they are going to get a catch right here with the cuff, but in charge is Rampage, actually. You see the Glacial Downpour going to be used. Balfagor the front lines. Rampage dropping quickly. Rampage will fall right there. And Draconis ports in, expecting to press that R button. No, he will not yet. Using the Blazing Fight. Hell on Neuwirth going off right there. And actually trying to pick up a kill, but no kills happening just yet in favor of Saishi. You see the chases on Boo Boo. Gets an Untangle onto Aluna, and Aluna's very likely, maybe able to save him. Draconis is trying to charge, but it's not going to be close enough. Aluna does get ported back, I believe, so she'll be fine. But Ophelia, on the other hand, she can't port back herself. She's in a lot of trouble now, and I'm guessing eventually will be picked off, whether it's an Entangle or something. There's a Dragon Flame slow, but it did push her forward, and the Graveyard missing. Ophelia is still somehow alive. Is she actually going to survive through this? Blazing Fight going to be, there's the Portal Key Hex, and Ophelia will now die as a result, and they didn't even come close to killing the tower. So Legion Team Saishi, they tried to go for initiation rather than just freely pushing the tower, and it didn't pay off right there.
Yeah, when you're trying to go with an initiation like that, but you have the idea of a team that's just pushing, it doesn't work. It doesn't mesh well. You have to do one or the other pretty much, unless you're pushing into the base and where you have to get a pick off before you actually get that base tower down. But I will say the Angry Diva playing that Balfagor just hit his ultimate on pretty much nothing. It hit the Draconis, the full HP Draconis, and no one else. And it is only a level 1 ulti. I feel like he could. I think he was maybe waiting for a couple more charges to get the full ultimate off on that Witch Slayer, but he waited too long. I think he should have just would have had better interest in just using it, and using what the charges that he had, because like I said, it hit Draconis and it did nothing. So that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, like you said, I don't think they really had any business trying to initiate like that. Maybe their thinking was Draconis was bottom. They don't have Draconis get them while it's 4v5. But when you have that kind of thinking, you have to burst them down very, very quickly, and they weren't able to do that. So
yeah, the follow-up just simply wasn't there. So now we have an interesting item pickup here, actually, on from Wild Soul, and technically on Boo Boo, going the Thunderclaw route. And I know Thunderclaw's been an item that we've actually talked about before as actually being one of the most if not the most cost-efficient damage items in the game. As we were informed, actually. And I know that you've actually been using it quite a bit yourself with several heroes that you've been playing. By the way, they'll hold that thought at the bottom line. Glacier's in a lot of trouble. Charge coming up from Rampage. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a kill right here. Granted, he does use the Ice Imprisonment. Imports Draconis with Nymphora, but they're not going to be able to save him in time. We do see the Millstone deactivate right there from the Emerald Lightning. Are they going to stand here? It looks like they are. Rampage charging in once again onto Draconis, trying to Blazing Flight away, but here comes Witchslayer. Bubbles running the party, though. Does he have a kill fold? Yes, he does. Locked into by Draconis with that Cataclysmic Assault, spreading so much damage, but he's in a lot of trouble. He is not going to take the stun as he did not run out of the kill fold right there, but good support coming out from both Witchslayer and Nymphora, actually. So Glacier's still the only one dead, and of course, Rampage did end up falling as well. Might be Bubbles as well. That Graveyard will catch, and there's the final couple of auto attacks on top of that Dragon Breath. So great job right there. Great response from the Hellborn team, because while that was happening, as you see at the top lane, they pushed the top tower. Now the middle lane was being pushed by Balfagor, but now he's in a lot of trouble. Will we see another Entangle? You see the Thunderclaw going off right there. Oh, God, you know it's coming. You know the Entangle's going to happen. You just know it's going to happen any second. One more attack. One more attack. Oh, my God, he's still alive. Nope, not going to happen, apparently.
He's proccing his Thunderclaw,
yeah,
though.
Thunderclaw's working, but the Entangle. So the other one's working, but not the one that he really wants. And he's
still
not going
going.
to get it. Wow. So now that was a case of just not much luck there for Wild Soul, but...
Yeah, because he was so unlucky early on. With
Yeah,
the
right.
yeah, very, very unlucky. What was I going to mention?
Thunderclaw.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, Balfagor right
Okay.
there poured it out and just canceled it for no reason. I
Oh.
mean, maybe he thought that the Entangle cancels TPs, but it does not. So, yeah, he definitely would have just lived if he just kept TPing, but unfortunately... Well, I guess he lived anyway.
Yeah.
But he would, definitely was on the run.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but no, the Thunderclaw, it is actually the most cost-effective item in the game. That's one of the perks here working at S2 is talking with the balancers and designers, and them actually be able to pull out facts as far as cost efficiency and things like that.
Numbers and everything.
Yeah. So it is a fun item. It's sometimes obviously it doesn't work out because it doesn't give you any survivability, it doesn't give you any tankiness, and it is dependent on RNG a little bit. But as you see there, the RNG factor is actually quite high. It is 20% chance, which is very, very decent, especially when you get that attack speed up. And it's actually, it's quite a good item. But on Wild Soul, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, now the follow-up to this would be, by the way, they're tearing through Congo, actually. Draconis is just so powerful against him with that Cataclysmic Assault.
Does he have a DD?
How fast he does have a DD, so yeah, that does definitely help. Yeah, that is true. It seemed like it was having crazy fast, but yeah, DD makes a little bit more sense. But they're going to get a free Conquer kill now. Granted, at the last second, you see right there some Minotaurs coming in, or one Minotaur at least gets frozen and killed. The Catman champion also in some trouble, but he'll be fine. But now we also have a token of life here on Draconis. So, but as I was going to say, I mean, the next follow-up question would have to be, well, is it worth investing into a charged hammer now as a result of that Thunderclaw? Are you just fine just sitting on the Thunderclaw?
I think just sitting on the Thunderclaw for now is fine. I really think they need a bulwark on this team. Well, I shouldn't say they really need it. I mean, they're doing just fine without it, but that's definitely the ideal pickup, I'm assuming, if you're Wild Soul. But we'll see what he does.
See Draconis right here. He's getting even so cocky. He's just farming the yellow camp in the Legion base, and he's actually going to get a little bit caught right here. I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything to stop him. Of course, the Nullstone deactivated, and it looks like he will be fine with that Blazing Flight.
So fast.
He just runs away. Yeah, that's got to be so annoying for the Legion team. I mean, he literally just walked in here, farmed the yellow camp real quickly, and then ran away. As if he don't care, because he doesn't. I mean, as we saw right there, there's no reason for him to. He can apparently just do it freely. So he's a level 15 dragon now. He has that token of life. He's farming 514 gold per minute. I didn't even look at that for a while, but it doesn't surprise me at the same time. We see some double stack, going to be triple stacked ancients right here. Sender's going to pull them, and let's just sit back and watch how quickly they just get demolished. So you see right here, okay, about 3 seconds in. We'll start at 23 and see how long it actually takes for him to clear out these triple stacked ancients. Oh, basically like 12, 13 seconds. So.
If even that, yeah. We actually started taking them. Yeah, about 10 seconds. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous.
It's pretty much. I mean, you did have a Glacius. But
yeah, well, the thing about that, too, is you compare. Well, FA can farm them, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess she can farm them with her ultimate. But if she doesn't use her ultimate, she's dependent on items to actually farm quickly.
Oh, Balfa going in the middle lane, gets charged in a little bit, but Draconis will fall back. Now, everyone is here, actually, from the Legion side. Now, who's not here is Wild Soul. So the numbers advantage is in favor right now of Saishi. So we'll see if they look to take advantage of that, if they can get a jump. But as we saw earlier in the game, when they went for try to initiate, it just didn't work out too well. Definitely need to work out a little bit better this time if they want to be winning those fights. Balfa, the minions come out, but already at half life as a result of that seal stun. So well played by Minifavora, but again, this is also a case of you need to make a decision if you're the Legion team. You can't just keep stalling, because while this is happening, Wild Soul continues to push the top lane. Now, he is falling back because it looks like all the TPs are happening. So they finally do make a decision, and unfortunately, it's the passive one of let's fall back and defend here.
Yeah, I mean, Saishi's in a very bad position. This is, in a sense, like I said yesterday, almost kind of an all-in strategy.
Yeah.
With the pushing like Balfagor. I mean, Balfagor definitely can hold his own late game with the right items and the amount, very fair amount of tankiness. But he did go Ghost Marchers. I don't agree with that at all. Makes him very untanky, especially when you have a lot of burst coming out. Well, now from Draconis and, like, say, Witch Slayer. Yeah, this is kind of an all-in strategy, and unfortunately, I really don't see them getting back in this at all. They're going to get completely out-farmed. They're going to get out-carried. They really have nothing going for them right now except for push, and they can't even do that right now.
Yeah. And you see Rampage, who's actually charging Nymphora in the bottom lane, but Nymphora actually porting out with the Homecoming Stone, so now he's just going to run up to the creep wave and farm that. So
check out Witch's items.
What did he just buy? He just bought a Helm of the Black Legion. All right, no big deal. Why the hell not? He is pretty tanky now. He has 1,200 life just about, so that's 16% intelligence. There we go, levels up, so even more life. Yeah. I think it's getting to a case of, I don't know, I mean, is that justifiable in any sense of being a realistic item, or is it really just a case of we're ahead, let's have some fun?
I think he's just comfortable. He's very, very comfortable this game.
See, that I don't see that as like a troll item, though. I mean,
it's not. And actually, with that ticed change that they had, it was a couple months ago, but it does buff the fact that ranged heroes can still have the proccing from Helm of the Black Legion. So it's actually it's much better in ranged heroes now. And so it's not like a troll pick per se, but it is just funny to see because, I don't think I've ever seen a Witch Slayer with the Helm of the Black Legion.
And Wild Soul did finish his charged hammer, actually, so they also have that going for them.
Yeah.
And it is on Wild Soul, mind you, too. I mean, Booby's just sitting on Ghost Marchers and an Iron Buckler. You see that right there. The tower just gets destroyed. So Imzai this time around playing Wild Soul a little bit different than what we're used to seeing, but nothing wrong with that. We do see Balfagor's going to get caught out right here. He's trying to build up those charges, but he may fall before even able to get it off. Nice port out, actually, as Ophelia was able to save him, but really isn't going to matter. Bubbles is taken out. You see the Ophelia here. Balfagor going to be porting back in, but again, he's porting into death right. Hell on Neworth, minimal charges. So very little damage happening right there, if anything, actually. And Draconis in the front lines. He's dropped about half life, but again, he has a token of life anyways. We see Balfagor just getting turned on right there. The shrunken-headed Rampage. It almost seems like he's not doing too much. He does pull in Witch Slayer, but Witch Slayer will end up surviving. And the Intengo going off on a Rampage to finish him off. We do see the Conceivo going through, though. And Saishi has had enough, as it's, again, no surprise there. Team It's Ghost are just too powerful. Man, a little bit unfortunate because, again, I really – obviously, Team It's Ghost, they did outplay Saishi as well there. And, again, it's not that this is a surprising result by any means, but Saishi, again, with that Rampage pickup, it's like, what was the idea with that? I mean, they had a chance to, like I said, Demented Shaman just end so many other heroes that would have made a lot more sense there and then commit to an all-in push-stall strategy. There is nothing wrong with that, as we saw yesterday. Worked out very well for DDoS against Fnatic in Game 1. Here, though, the Rampage kind of threw it off a little bit, and, just to mix on, obviously, It's Ghost also playing it very well themselves. Saishi wasn't able to come through here, so.
Yeah, I mean, when we saw that, right when we saw the picking phase, Balfagor Rampage, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. It doesn't really work or synergize well together. And, it's very unfortunate, but hopefully they'll realize that, learn from it, pick something different here that synergizes a little bit better. If you're going to try to go for that more gank-oriented lineup, then find other support heroes or other heroes in general in that lineup that work well with ganking. Same thing goes the opposite. If you're trying to push, find heroes that work well with push. What are heroes that work with a push? Like you said, Demented Shaman doesn't need that much farm, just maybe needs levels and some core little items, but that's it. You get those items, and then you stick with the team, and he works well with the team, but Rampage, not so much. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense from the picking stage and then going into the game again, though. It's Ghosty. They played it very well. They did have some fun there at the end, obviously, with a couple of pickups on their side, but there's nothing wrong with that. After all, it is a game. Draconis, once again, did very well. There's nothing too crazy about anything that he did, though, by any means. He finished the game with 580 gold per minute, which is actually pretty low for Draconis. No. So, but yeah, in the end, it's Ghosty. They're victorious, but again, only game number 1 here. It is a best of the 3, so... On that note, guys, sit tight. We got game number 2 just around the corner. I'm Breaky CPK. Joining me, Tralfamador. Stay tuned, guys. Game 2 coming up.